Meet Peziza echinospora, commonly known as the charcoal cup, a fascinating and specialized species from the Pezizaceae family. This distinctive, cup-shaped fungus typically appears in the wake of fire, emerging from burnt soil and charred wood as nature begins its resilient process of recovery. Recognizable by its dark, smoky brown interior, its finely warped spores, and its preference for pyrophilous, fire-loving habitats, it is a striking find for mycologists, marking the spot where life returns to the ashes. Peziza echinospora is generally considered inedible. While it is not classified as a deadly poisonous species, it lacks any documented culinary history, and its thin, brittle flesh offers no practical food value. Consuming cup fungi like this is strongly discouraged, as many species within the Peziza genus contain unknown toxins that can cause gastrointestinal distress if eaten. Furthermore, because it thrives in charred environments, there is a high risk of ingesting ash, soot, or other contaminants absorbed from the burnt substrate. In terms of physical appeal, the mushroom has a rubbery, waxy texture that becomes quite fragile as it matures. It lacks the substantial meatiness found in prized edible fungi, and it does not possess a distinctive or pleasant aroma that would make it attractive for the kitchen. Foragers and mycologists treat this species strictly as a subject for scientific study and photography rather than a source of nutrition. Its role in the ecosystem as a primary decomposer of fire-damaged terrain is far more significant than its potential as a meal. Peziza echinospora is best identified by its distinct cup-shaped or saucer-like growth form and its specific preference for burned ground. The fruiting body, or apothecium, typically measures between 2 to 6 centimeters in diameter. Initially, it begins as a small, hollow sphere that eventually opens up into a shallow cup, often becoming wavy, irregular, or flattened against the ground as it reaches maturity. The inner surface is smooth and dark, ranging from deep smoky brown to almost black, while the outer surface is slightly paler and can appear somewhat grainy or scurfy. The mushroom essentially lacks a true stem, being sessile or having only a very short, rudimentary base that attaches it directly to the substrate. This attachment is often quite fragile, and the entire structure can be easily detached from the soil. Unlike many agarics, it has no gills, pores, or teeth. Instead, the entire inner surface of the cup acts as the fertile layer where spores are produced and eventually discharged into the air. While the macroscopic look is a strong indicator, true confirmation often requires looking at the microscopic level, specifically the spores. These are ellipsoidal and characterized by a finely warped or spiny surface, which gives the species its name. When the mushroom is fully mature, a slight puff of wind or a gentle touch can sometimes trigger a visible cloud of white spores to be released from the cup in a small smoke plume. The flesh of the mushroom is thin, brittle, and waxy, usually no more than 1 to 2 millimeters thick. It is brownish in color and snaps cleanly when bent, similar to the texture of a candle wick or thin rubber. It does not exude any milky sap when broken, nor does it exhibit any dramatic color staining when bruised, though it may darken slightly at the edges as it dries out. One of the most reliable diagnostic features is its habitat. Finding a dark, brownish cup fungus growing directly out of charcoal, ash, or soil that has been scorched by fire strongly suggests Peziza echinospora. It is often found alongside other phoenix fungi that dominate these nutrient-rich, post-fire environments. In summary, the combination of its dark cup-like shape, brittle and waxy flesh, lack of a stem, and its strict occurrence on burnt ground provides a clear set of markers for identification. While it may resemble other Peziza species, its affinity for charcoal and its specific spore ornamentation are the ultimate keys to distinguishing it in the field. Peziza echinospora is a specialized pioneer species, meaning it is among the first to colonize environments following dramatic ecological changes. This fungus is a strictly carbonicolous or pyrophilous species. Its very existence is inextricably linked to fire. Unlike typical forest mushrooms, you won't find this one nestled in pristine moss. Instead, you must look for it on burned sites, old campfire spots, or in forests that have recently suffered wildfires. Its primary habitat is scorched earth saturated with charcoal and ash. It often emerges directly from the black, charred soil or on the remains of burnt wood where specific nutrients released by combustion have accumulated. In these extreme conditions, where competition from other fungi has been temporarily eliminated by the heat, Peziza echinospora finds the perfect niche to colonize. While it can appear in various types of forests, from coniferous to deciduous, The key factor is not the tree species but the presence of burnt organic material. It is frequently seen in clusters, where dozens of small dark cups carpet the blackened surface of a burn site, creating an almost alien sight amidst the desolation. Geographically, it is widely distributed across Europe and North America, following the tracks of human activity or natural forest fires. If you are searching for it, forget the green meadows. Focus on the black scars in the landscape and places where fire has recently cleansed the terrain, as that is where this mushroom plays its vital role in forest recovery. Peziza echinospora has very specific requirements for fruiting. Its season typically begins in spring and lasts through early autumn, but its cycle is not driven strictly by the calendar, but rather by the time elapsed since a fire event. It most commonly appears several weeks or months after the ground has cooled, seizing a short window of opportunity before other plants and fungi reclaim the territory. Optimal temperatures for its development range between 12 degrees Celsius and 22 degrees Celsius. Although the ground it grows on is often dark and heats up quickly in the sun, this mushroom requires a careful balance of warmth and moisture to keep its fragile cups hydrated. Because of this, the most abundant fruiting occurs after heavy rains that soak the dry ash and charcoal. Moisture is a critical factor because its fruiting bodies have a waxy texture and are very thin, making them highly susceptible to drying out. On burn sites exposed to direct sunlight, you will often find it tucked into the crevices of charred stumps or beneath burnt branches that provide a bit of shade and maintain microlocal humidity. Interestingly, the chemical shift in soil pH caused by ash acts as a trigger for its spores to germinate. While such conditions would be toxic to most other species, for Peziza echinospora, they signal that it is time to grow. As soon as the soil stabilizes and nutrient levels begin to level out, it vanishes as mysteriously as it arrived, waiting for the next fire cycle to begin. Peziza echinospora plays a vital role as a primary recycler in the immediate aftermath of a forest fire. While most life forms flee or perish in the heat, this mushroom acts as a biological first responder. It is a specialized decomposer that thrives on the complex carbon compounds found in charcoal and ash, materials that are typically difficult for other organisms to break down. By processing these burnt remains, it helps stabilize the soil and initiates the long process of returning nutrients to the earth. Its presence is a crucial step in the forest's recovery phase. As it breaks down scorched organic matter, it paves the way for mosses, grasses, and eventually tree seedlings to take root in the once barren ground. Without fungi like this one, the nutrients locked away in charred wood and soil would remain inaccessible to the rest of the ecosystem for much longer. In the grand cycle of nature, this small cup fungus is the bridge between the destruction of the old forest and the birth of the new one. And that's the story of Peziza echinospora, the mushroom that rises from the ashes. If you enjoyed this look at one of nature's most resilient survivors, consider liking and subscribing. From the deepest shadows of the woods to the charred ground of a new beginning, there is always something fascinating waiting to be discovered. Until the next find, keep exploring, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.